Om Shanti, everyone. Welcome. Welcome to the Monday workshop. So as always, every Monday we bring very inspirational speakers. Today we have with us Brother Prakash. We have a very special brother from Brahma Kumaris. He has been practicing Raj Yoga meditation for more than 4.5 decades. He has been practicing this before I was born, literally, right? From 70s, early 70s. So all of this effort that he has put into this practice, it grows into your subconscious mind and it comes alive when in the time of need, especially when in the time of crisis, right? And I was just talking with Brother Ram Prakash Bhai and was asking that, can you share some of this, that, and the other? And he said that, no, let's go with the flow. Let's make it natural, right? And that is when you can tell that this is a person who comes from his subconscious mind, which is all of this practice of decades of practice, which he has put into, is so ingrained into his subconscious, and it is coming into action in times of need naturally. And today we are going to hear his special experience.
See, I want to share because we were talking about that how possibly something ordinary to becoming extraordinary, a journey, whether it is a possibility or not. Can it be possible? So I just I am like you could call it even a case study. That if there is a possibility of impossible becoming possible, can it be possible? So those are the things I want to share. Like I start with when I was 21 years old, 17 to 21, I was studying civil engineering. And during engineering, I became spoiled. The typical person living in the hostel, doing all kind of nonsense things. I broke all my family's rules, drinking, smoking, gambling, not studying, giving trouble to the teachers, throwing paper balls on them, and all kind of things. But I don't know how I passed my engineering, but I did. And now we were told at one time, it just happened, that over the turn of the century, we read in some article, over the turn of the century, India will be most prosperous country in the world. And we were all laughing. It was like a predictions. But then what happened in our house? My auntie was in this knowledge. So she invited Brahma Kumaris to stay there for a few months to impart the knowledge, and because they could not find any place, so then she offered that they will come to our place and they will stay in one part of our house. Now there I was able to see the sisters very closely. I used to not like spiritual people at all. I will stay miles away from them. I guarantee that if they had come to next door neighbor, I would have never gone there. But now they were right in our house and I will stay away with them. But then one day they just told me, Ram, why you are so afraid? Will we hold you, tied you with something? You are an engineer, you are outgoing person, you can leave whenever you want to leave. But just add to your knowledge what this knowledge is all about. So I reluctantly, I said, all right, I start doing it. But somehow or another, I started sharing because I could see that authenticity in the sisters. They belong to good families. They could have lived a very good life, but they chose this path. They eat so simple, I saw. Wear so simple. Work whole day and just continue to talk. And at night, such a simple food they will eat. But I could see a genuine smile on their faces. When it's a fake smile, you know it right away. But when it's a natural smile, natural glow on their faces, It is not makeup. It is a general, natural. And that smile, it really somewhere mesmerize you. And I thought there must be something in them. They must be getting something, because nobody does nothing for nothing. Something has to be, they must be achieving something. And that is where I started taking the course. And then I told them, I want to get rid of some of my problems and this and that. And they were telling me, oh, you are going to become a deity. I was laughing so much. I said, they are thinking of making me deity. If I improve little bit, if I just get rid of my problems, I will be so happy person. But what happened, I started to take the course and I read very thoroughly, and I quit smoking, drinking, became vegetarian, stopped eating onion, garlic, everything in 1 week. And somehow that is where being an engineer also was utilized in my understanding. Somehow, when I saw if I can change this much, anytime when you build a house, you make a model, and the model is acceptable, then you make a prototype. So I think if I can change this much, I can change this much too. I can change this much too. I can interpolate. I was able to change the micro into macro. There is a possibility. So then I felt change is possible. I felt so good about myself. I was trying to get rid of my bad habits for 2 years and could not do it. And here within 1 week, I was able to. So how could I deny it? Then I said, I am going to give 6 months to 1 year. I'm going to try with my life, because it was a very big step from being atheist to turning into spirituality was a very big step for me. And so what I applied, what I understood, being an engineer, there are 2 particular things we do. One is to simplify things. Like engineers have so much complicated drawings, calculations and all that, but end users will not understand all those things. They will not know what is 20 by 30 room is. But you have to take them in the similar kind of room. Then you have to tell them, this is 2 feet bigger than this room because this is 18 feet wide, and about 5 feet longer than this one because this is 25. So then they will understand what 20 by 30 is. So this is how I saw knowledge also, I have to simplify it. So I started to learn in a very simple way. And then second thing is, we talk about application. When we were in pre-engineering, we learned mathematics, physics, mechanics of material. But when we went to engineering, we were learning applied mathematics, applied physics, applied mechanics. So that means, what is the application? So I could clearly understand the power of yoga. When I get love, I get peace. But then what? I used to question, okay, I am a peaceful person. So what? Nobody knows anything about me. Nobody knows that I do meditation. But when they will see in the adverse situation, I remain calm and peaceful, then they will say, this guy is very, very peaceful and calm. So that means my peace turned into calmness in dealing with people, or it turned into patience. Then there is a benefit in my day-to-day life. So this is how I started applying the knowledge I was getting, because I was a very good student that way. In my college, I was terrible. But when I became a Brahma Kumaris student, whatever lesson they will tell me, I will just 40, 50 pages of that lesson. I will, read it 1 time, 2 times, so that when they will ask me question next day, I want to be right. So because of that, I learned quite a bit in a very, very profound way. So what I found was that knowledge and yoga, when people say that you remember God and you will become pure, somehow or another I felt there is a gap between those two things. How yoga can make me pure? It's not that I keep sitting in yoga and all of a sudden I get up, oh, I have become pure. Then, so that means what I learned was when I do yoga, I get the peace, I get happiness and love. And then I apply that love because that is the power I get from yoga is the power of love, power of happiness, power of peace. And I found that actually any time when I do something with love, it increases my efficiency. It makes me like tireless, and people also enjoy my company because I am very doing something lovingly. And I also found because I was being an engineer very argumentative. I will argue. Later on, the sisters were telling me they used to be very afraid of me because I will ask so many questions. So they used to push each other. You should go and give the course, not me. Because I wanted to argue. But what I noticed was my engineering was becoming an obstacle in my experiencing that spirituality. I really felt. So then I took you could call it, I don't call it vow or something, but I said to myself, let me become ordinary. I don't want anybody to know I am an engineer. And I will want to do small things. And my very first help I started giving to the center was doing the dishes. I saw in a big program, people are coming, they're eating, and then they're leaving everything behind. And all those little sisters, they were very young. And they are now working hard to wash those dishes and all that. I say, at least that much I can do. I may not be able to do other things, but I could do the dishes. So I asked them, can I do the dishes? They said, no, brother, you are an engineer. You don't want to do it. I said, engineer, I'm outside. Here I am just a family person. So I started doing the dishes. But again, applying the power of yoga, for me, I want to apply that love and the happiness to the dishes. So I felt I am playing with water. When the water comes and from the tap, you hold it, it wants to go this way, that way, splashing. I'm literally playing with water. And then when I am really, doing the dishes, cleaning them, I felt I am massaging them. And when the pots will become clean and shining, I felt, you could call it childlike kind of thing, but I really felt the pots are feeling so happy and giving me thanks that, look, we were lying there dirty in the sink. You made us clean. Thank you so much. Now we will sit our, friends, good pots, properly. Now, it is all imagination, we can say. But when I look back, it was not imagination. Because I used to feel so much joy. Somewhere the feeling was, it is only when I apply the knowledge and yoga into my actions, I have a value. Or I even felt that nature does not have life. God is incorporeal. Actually, I am the bridge in between. Because I carry both. The body is made of the 5 elements and the soul is the child of God. So actually, when I receive love and happiness from God, then it energizes me. It brings zeal and enthusiasm in me. And out of that, I do action, I work with the matter. And then I am spreading the vibrations of that love and happiness into the nature. It is almost like a throwing a pebble in any pond. You will find whatever, it has those ripples. They will not end until they reach to the end of that pond. So actually, any action I perform, it reaches to the end of the universe. That was my conviction actually. And because I was feeling so that means I keep on doing good action, keep on doing good action. And how I know too, that you notice the difference when you're doing something with the love. It happened because I will get so many blessings from the sisters. That is the first time I realized blessings don't come only from the senior people. They can come from the younger ones too. Because when you help somebody, the soul is not old or young. The hearty blessing come upon you. And actually that put a lot of energy in you. You want to do more and more and more. So even when I came to America after 3 years in 77. And I met Sister Mohini. Actually, it was our Chandru van first, who actually I got connected. And she used to send me some rasgulla sometime, some kind of things. I learned from her that you can do few things here and there because I was very strict in my diet. She used to tell me, become a little bit liberal. In other words, don't take it too hard on yourself. So I was connected with her, and after 1 year, Dadi Janki came to America. I called Sister Chandru, and actually then I talked to Dadi Janki, and they told me that she was going to New York. And so it is a long story, but I met Sister Mohini after that in at the end of 1978. And my journey in America began. And here also, anytime, because I carry those experiences with me, that when you do small things and it makes you so happy, why I have to think of big things? So anytime there will be program and they will talk about who will go on the stage, who will meet with VIPs, who will be the MC, etc., etc. And then it started to come, who will do the cleaning, who will do the dishes. As soon as the word dishes come, I raise my hand right away. Everybody used to feel very happy because nobody want to do dishes. They think their hands will become bad and all that. But what I found that there also used to sing and people used to come and they used to talk to me. I say, how come it was, I wanted to do this thing. How come you come and started helping me? They said, we see you very happy and we want to be happy too. So we came close to you. What if we will just do standing over there? So we started wiping the dishes. So I saw, wow. When you're happy doing something, you even get help. One day I was not feeling good, maybe a little upset about something. That day I found nobody was coming close to me. And I'm wondering, how come nobody is coming close to me? Then I felt, because I'm angry. And who will come close to an angry person? But then I felt, but how do they know that I am angry? How you think they came to know that I am angry? It is the sound of the pots will tell the story. When you are angry, even the pots are saying, oh my gosh, oh my God, oh God, protect us, save us. He's going to throw us around. He's going to make us break and all kind of thing. So immediately I saw whatever actions I perform, so that means it creates sound. It also see that how the pots are hitting each other. And so that is where I could see very clearly how through my action, the nature is getting affected and the people are getting affected. So karma became my real thing, that everything ultimately boils down to my karmas. So I was very much into karma yoga. My mind was always, I felt that it is not that I have to separate yoga and karma. I can do them combined together. That was my conviction. Somehow I felt if I am doing good actions, they will never ever go waste because I was feeling so much joy. So this is how my life had been. So wherever I will go, and I also could see happiness does not come from money or from position. In back home, we were very, very kind of modest, not even modest, financially challenged. Then I came to America. Okay, I'm an engineer. I started to earn and all that. And I used to think there is a sadness because there is lack of money. But when I have the money, there is no difference. I was very clear. Money has nothing to do with joy. The joy comes from when you are able to do something which nobody will do it. So I was always doing small things, but somehow or another, I found that actually doing small things versus big things. People who do big things, they stay on the stage. But the people who do small things, they stay on people's hearts. I had learned that. I saw it from Dari Janki, I saw from Sister Mohini, Chandruben, everybody. I saw this kind of that what is karma yoga is all about. And what I found that when I am doing big things, because I had also done many, many big projects, world fame projects I have done. Like I developed the structural integrity program for the World Trade Center, and they even implemented it. So that was very, successful program I had done. And LaGuardia Airport, JFK, I had done many things. What I found was when we are doing big things, our position is big, but still big things are only for 2-3 times. But the rest of the time, you are just like ordinary person as anybody else. Like nobody can eat for you. Nobody can take shower for you. Nobody can go to bathroom for you. So that means there are certain things. If you put food in your mouth, doesn't matter you are a laborer or you are a president of the company, it will affect same way. So I was very clear, and I found that whenever there is that kind of, you do big things, you become victim of people's jealousy. They want to pull you down. I found as much courage you need to do big things, more courage is needed for doing small things, because small things nobody wants to do. And if you are able to do small things which nobody wants to do, you are the winner. You have the courage. You are not afraid what people will think about me. They may not lose respect for me and all that. That is when I learned my value is not what I do, but whatever I do, I put my value in that action and make that action valuable. That is how doing the pots, like I know the peace village, then I did even, wherever I went, I will go to the kitchen and start doing the pots. Even if I'm visiting somebody, there is always something to do in the kitchen. So I found that actually my life was growing and people were happy. How I know? One time one VIP used to come quite often in the center. And once in a while, everybody had so much respect for him. One time he was just sitting alone and I was sitting in the classroom. He came close to me. He said, Ram, I want to tell you one secret. I said, what? He said, you know why I come here so often? I said, I come here so often to see you. That I see you loving, caring, doing all the things, and you're always smiling. I wish I could become like you. I was in a shock. I thought I am doing only small things, and here such a big person is admiring me that I wish I could be like you. That is where, when you start to think, you start to have that feeling of confidence in you that you are on the right path. This is where this became my conviction. Big things, there is too much competition. There is a cutthroat. When you are at the height, people want to bring you down. But who will be jealous of you if you are doing just sweeping the floor in the center or doing the dishes? Who will be jealous of you? If anybody is jealous of you, bring another broom and give it to them. Oh, you can also join me, no problem. See, and other things you will notice, when you do something big, people don't even look eye to eye to you. They will just, put their head down and walk away, walk from you. But when you are doing small thing, you experiment with it. They will smile at you because you make them very comfortable when you're doing small things. They feel comfortable talking to you because everybody does small things at their home. But in the public place, they are afraid of doing small things because there it is value. Oh, whose is more valuable, who is more smart, or who is less smart. So like that is where they are afraid. So this is where I found many, many things, doing small things and enjoying, and it does not take any. Like driving, I will bring the people from airport. Now I can say all my friendship with all the senior people was developed driving them. I was able to talk to them. I became so comfortable with them. Then I will just do mundane things for them. Small, small things. This is how I became popular. I consider myself to be popular. People like me. People know me many places. So what I'm trying to say that this was my conviction internally, that good karma ultimately, because Krishna also talked about in the Gita maximum karma yoga. Unless you perform action, there is no value. So combining those together. So it was also in my profession too. I will always want to give little bit more to other people. And people were very happy with me. So there are many, many stories about that how when you find that when people are jealous of you, they want to take away your things, they want to take away your projects. So what I used to do, anytime somebody was interested in what I was doing, I will find a way to give that project to that person. And people used to think that what I will do then, but I got a chance to go in the unknown territories, where nobody will dare to go. Always finding something different, something new, and my fear turning into, because this is where I learned fear and courage, they meet at the same point. If I don't have any fear, I don't need any courage. So courage is what really comes only when I have fear. So start using the fear to your advantage. We will not study if we don't have the fear of exams. We will not study if we don't have the fear of deadline. So fear moves me when it's a positive fear. So those were my stories of our personal life before the 9/11. So on 9/11, I was on 64th floor on the North Tower, which was hit first. As I had mentioned, I had developed structural integrity program for the entire complex. And then I did for JFK, LaGuardia, Lincoln Tunnel. Then I was working as a project manager for George Washington Bridge at that time. So I had come there earlier because I wanted to go for a meeting. And I was just going out of the office. All of a sudden I remembered, oh, I want somebody else to join the meeting. So I wanted to send email to that person. I came back from the door. See, now you could see destiny. I was ready to go out. I was almost out of the door from my office, and I came back and sat down. I started writing email, and that is when the plane hit the building. Our first reaction was, this is an earthquake. I remember even yelling, earthquake, earthquake, go under the table. We had learned that go under the door or something like that. So I'm talking, but building is shaking this way, that way, that way. But then it came to stand still. Then we knew it is not an earthquake, because earthquake, the oscillation continues for a long time. So maybe a small plane hit the building. So we were concerned, we know, but it was more of a headache than anything else. So then we started to go down. After some time, people said, second plane, second plane. And that is when everybody started to get into panic. Is it a third world war? Because nobody could imagine that we thought that the bombs are just maybe flowing around or something has happened, and this is how the attack has begun. And then after some time, the second tower collapsed. And whilst it was collapsing, our building, our tower, that, 110 story each, those two towers were 110. And I had gone in every corner of the World Trade Center because of my job. So I knew, where things are, and so quite understanding the facility. So anyway, so then when we are shaking, that is where people start to get even more panic, because of the floor is shaking, plaster is falling, and pipelines are rattling, siren is going on, high-pitched siren, and the light is flickering just like a horror movie. And that is what, we went through. And then after some time, we found out, because of the fallen tower, the debris blocked our stairs. So we could not use those stairs anymore. And we had to go to another stairs. And then there was more crowd. And as we are coming down the second stairs, all of a sudden we found a lot of water is coming down the stairs because the pipelines are broken. We were holding the handrail because the water was gushing with so much speed that we could have even gone through, flushed through it. So little by little we are going down. Then we found out we have to change even these stairs because they are broken from underneath. So those are the last stairs we had to go. And in order to go into those third stairs, we had to go through total pitch dark corridor. Water is falling on top. Water is ankle high underneath. And holding the wall, we are going. And once in a while, some these emergency lights, when they lose their life, then they flicker once in a while. We could see the dangling wires on top of us. And holding the wall, ducking down, bending down, we slowly walk. And finally, we came out of that corridor into the third stairs. And then we went down easily. And we had gone out. Just when we came out, we saw the fire, firestorm. It is like moving like this, like a tornado kind of things. And big cladding pieces, aluminum cladding, they were really going this way, that way, big. And also debris were falling. So we will just walk under the overhang and just slowly we walk out of the place. And we had gone out only for 4 or 5 minutes. We felt the ground is shaking and we looked back, our tower is collapsing. We were so close to the tower. If the tower had toppled in our direction, we would have been underneath it. But of course, tower did not topple. It just came down straight. Nothing happened. But the debris, the powder, sheetrock powder, that was chasing us. We are running and it's following us. Of course, our clothes were dirty, our hair, our jacket, and everything was dirty, our shoes. So finally we came out. I had 4 people, many people were there with me, but after we came out of the building, they've started going their way. But some people wanted to stay with me. Excuse me. So we have a center on 5th Avenue near Empire State Building. I brought them and I, asked them to provide the food. And so they were given the food. They were able to call their families. And actually, I talked to Dadi Janki for about 20 minutes. And Dadi Janki asked me to write my experience. So I wrote the experience right away. But what I want to share, I came home at night time when the train started to run. I took shower, I ate, and I went to bed. And next morning, when I am coming after meditation from Harmony House, I am walking to my apartment, I felt like a hole. Like you feel that all of a sudden the towers are gone. I had put 1.5 year effort in those things, and you feel the connection and not there anymore. But one thing was coming to my mind: move forward, move forward. You cannot go back. This is how we use our knowledge of drama. Drama only moves forward. Time moves forward. Everything moves one way. So you have to move in one way. So that was my promise to myself, not to look back. But next morning, same morning, people started calling me for here, there, that they wanted to have an interview. And they were asking many, many questions from foreign newspaper, televisions as well. So one of the questions they were asking that how America will take revenge. And I am telling them that today they took revenge, tomorrow we take revenge, people will keep getting killed. Where is the end? We have to stop this vicious cycle of taking revenge. We have to start the healing process, and the healing comes from forgiveness. Because Harsha, you were asking, I should share my experiences at that time. And so I am just looking at who should I forgive. I don't know who did this thing. I'm looking around. Usually you forgive somebody who has done really, really terrible things in life. I'm looking around. I could not find, but I knew one person who had done many, many terrible things in his life. And that was me, because I knew exactly what wrong I had done in my life. So on that day, God as witness, I forgave myself for all the wrong things I had done in my life. And I really want to tell you, I felt my burden has been lifted. I felt so light. I was literally jumping with joy. And I am only listening to one song that's in Hindi. God, what did you see in me that you have adopted me? What qualities you saw in me? You guys were so terrible and all that. But so I am just jumping with joy. And people thought I am in a state of denial. That I should be crying and all kind of things I should be doing. I should be nervous. They did not see anything in me. That has become my now nature, or nature in that sense. I try to do this. Anytime I see somebody making a mistake or doing wrong thing, rather than feeling bad about them, I forgive myself for something I have done wrong. You can try that. Your relationship with others will remain good, and you also will keep on doing good actions, and also you will also keep forgiving yourself and being light. So that was one of the things about forgiveness. Second thing, they were asking me, I was only 5 minutes away from death. 95 minutes we were in the tower, and just 5 minutes We just came out. We were so close to death. Actually, now many times I don't, share this thing, but from this weekend I have started sharing. After I came out to the tower, I wanted to go back into the tower to help other people. There was one lady was very heavy and she could not walk and she was crying and she was just sitting on the ground. I wanted to go and help. I was asking somebody, but then the police people, they told me, no, because they knew other tower had already collapsed and our tower could collapse anytime. And it did after 5 minutes. But I was ready to go inside. I really wanted to go inside. That is the reality. And now I was so close. What if they say share your experience of your fear? And I look back into those 95 minutes plus. I could not find a single minute or second when I was in fear. I'm wondering what could be the reason. You wonder. Because I'm an ordinary person. I'm not kind of macho kind of person. I never pick fight with anybody. I am just simple person. How come I did not have the fear? Only thing I could think of was because I started helping other people, my own fear never materialized. That is where this learning. And I have seen in life, and we all have seen, you must have seen too. Anytime when you start helping other people, you forget about your own troubles, own problems. It's true or not? It's true for all of us. So that is but the question is what kind of help I was providing. They are coming down, I am coming down with them, but the difference was other people are rushing out. Rushing means trying to go down the stairs as quickly as possible. But I was slowly coming down, talking to people, watching them, and saying hello to them, have faith in God. And they were also saying, Ram, pray for us, because they knew I'm a spiritual person. They knew about me. But when the other tower collapsed and then we came on other stairs, then the panic started growing more and more. Then even little sound will come in the tower, everybody will jump in panic, and the ladies working there, they will scream in fear. So what I will do at that time, when I see them screaming, I am in front of them, they are behind me, I will step back and bring them in front of me. I said, we are all together. Don't worry. We will all come out of the tower together. I promise. Have faith in God. Everything will be okay. Now, it is not a big deal going 2 steps behind, but it was a very big deal for those ladies, because somewhere they had this feeling that if we will be in trouble, this person is going to help us. Now, they were so happy with me. They even called me, Ram, you are our angel. That is their words. They spoke. And I am just laughing inside. I say, oh my God, we make so much effort to become a better person or angel. And here you just go 2 steps behind and become an angel. But what I learned from there was that in the time of need, in the time of crisis, even your small help goes a long way. It has an exponential impact on other people. So that was my revelation. In the time of crisis, find somebody who is in more pain and sorrow than you are, start helping them, and your own pain and suffering, they will go away. That's what I learned at that time. And other thing was, people, supposing I had died, because I was so close to death. If I had died, they would have put my picture in the living room with a garland around and would have said, oh, Ram was an angel. but he's dead. He died. So I would have been a dead angel. I would have been an angel, but dead angel. Now I did not die. So is it possible that I can be a living angel? Why not? That is where, again, when I use the word simplifying things, the definition of angel becomes simple. Angels appear because I did very small thing and people called me angel. It was their feelings. So I started to work with those feelings. I said the angels they appear from nowhere in the time of crisis, help people out, and before anybody knows, they fly away. So that means they don't stay back to see the result. They don't stay back to get acknowledgement or praise or any gift. So that means serving selflessly is like being an angel. And be ready all the time, wherever the need is, ever ready. And then you come with the zeal and enthusiasm. These are your wings. And supposing they start to collect the gifts, they will not be able to fly because they will become heavy. That's the reason they don't get anything from anybody. So for me, that day, I felt becoming an angel simplified. You know, many times people say computers for the dummies. That means simple ways. So it's almost like an angel becoming angels for dummies who don't know much. Simple ways of becoming angel. That was my understanding. And the other understanding I had was that all the good actions you perform in our life, we don't get result of those good actions many times. And many times good people even suffer. They say, I am a good person, but I am suffering. People take advantage of me being a good person. I used to feel that too. But what I have found, somehow or another, whatever people are doing to you, taking advantage of you, but somehow or another you keep on growing. So this is where I understood later stage that all the good things you do and you don't get a reward of those actions, they keep on accumulating in you. And in the time of need, all the good actions, they come together and turn you towards the safety. You are able to make the right decision at that time. Like as I don't know if I mentioned, we lost 10 people in our office. It was only a few seconds decision. Should we stay or should we start leaving? And, unfortunately, they thought they are safer over there. But we thought, let's go, whatever happens, happens. Because logic was correct for both sides. Because they thought if we get stuck in the middle, then what we will do? They were right in their own self. Now we are thinking, okay, whatever happens, we will deal with it, let's go. Now they died. 10 people died from our office, my friends. So, actually, what I am looking at, that somehow or another, when I used to go for their memorial, I used to feel that, why did I survive? Because I see the family people, their families crying. The little bit of that, what is the justification of my survival? I am questioning this thing. And somehow or another, it came to my, you could call it, I had a very silent promise with myself, or taking a vow, or whatever you want to call it. I don't use the word vow and all that. Sometimes it becomes too rigid when you take a vow. But it is more, Ram, just consider you have also died from your own life. And now, this life that has been given to you, it does not belong to you. It belongs to the world. So that means in this life which has been given to you, if you use it only to the service to humanity, for the service to humanity, then even God can justify why did you survive? Because you have to serve the world. Those are the things I found, that when I took that pledge within myself, I felt so light. And I was always looking for something. How can I justify? How can I justify? I have to do something big. I have to do something great so that God can justify my survival. And this is how I, was looking always my attitude towards people, wherever I want to go, where I can help somebody. How can I help you? And my life really become a life of, you could call it natural happiness or blessings and lightness. Wherever I see a situation, I will have more courage to do things and all that. And that is where I find, when your karmas don't go waste, nobody can take advantage of you. Actually, it is only when you have advantage, people take advantage of you. Energy goes from high level to low level. They keep taking from me. But the beauty is, if I have to take from him, I have to go down. And that's not my dignity. So it's not in our dignity to take anything from anybody. It's only for giving and giving. But the wonder is, when you give, you start to receive from God, from nature, from circumstances. So this is how I saw karma. People will say, Ram, you are very innocent. People are using you. I am sure many of you have that problem too. You think, you can nod your head, if you think, yes, I am an innocent person, yes, and people use me. I tell them, oh, people are using me. That means I am useful. Otherwise, I will become useless. So do I want to become useful or useless? If useful, nod your head. Yes, I want to be useful. Let people use me as much as they want. Right? The more they will use me, the more value I have in my life. So people keep using me, and I keep on making my life valuable. These are the simple facts I have lived with. And that is where you say, becoming fearless. Like, I don't have the fear. I can meet with anybody because I know I am going there only to help that person. I am going to give that person love, the respect, the credits, whatever I can give. So naturally, who will not want to have me? Everybody wants to have useful person, right? Everybody calls the useful people. But do you anybody call the useless people? Even the useless person wants to come to your home. What you say? Oh no, I am busy right now. Maybe some other time. But by chance they show up, and then I say, oh my God, when that person will go? Is it true now? Do I want to become like that, where people say, oh my gosh, when he will go? No, I want to be useful. Like sun is useful, the wind is useful, water is useful, God is useful, and I am useful too. So that is where the fearlessness comes. I am here only to give and only giving. So then there is no fear. So should I share the 7 billion acts of goodness, or they want to ask questions or anything? Anybody wants to share something?
Yeah. So anyone, if you have any questions, feel free to.
Yeah. If you want to challenge, if you don't like, or you want to argue, you can come forward. We will see how we can. Anybody wants to ask? Usually when I talk, nobody asks me questions, because questions are asked when we are dealing at the level ground. Why do you did that? You hit me, this and that. But once you take yourself that high, you are the king of your own territory. Nobody try to reach there. Unknown territory, where there is a fear, there is also courage. See why people go for adventures. There is a fear of falling, fear of getting hurt. But the excitement of finding something new is much, much more than the fear of getting hurt. That's how people go for adventure. So make your life adventurous. I find you are ready to fail. If you are ready to fail, 95% chances are you will not fail. But yes, 5% you have to be ready to accept the failure or being vulnerable, or people will joke about you. But 95% possibilities. But tragedy is, you could call it the human nature at present is, that because of the fear of 5% of loss, 5% failure, we let go of 95% of opportunities. See, there is no crisis, no opportunities, no risk, no opportunities. You have to, if you want, you see, we only grow in the time of crisis. When the things are really, really bad with us, that is the time of growth. You can go back into your life. That is what I find. If somebody asks you, share your life story, you will not share the time of when everything was going smooth and easy, and that was boring. Really, if the life is going smooth and easy, you're living the life happily and then you die. That's the story. There is a story when the smallest stories, there was one king, one queen, they lived happily and then they died. End of story. Do I want to become that story? See, when you go for a movie, mundane things are going on in the beginning. See, when the story will begin, when the movie will begin, and then here comes accident, or somebody dies, or somebody loses something, everything and all that. Everybody gets ready. Oh, now the story begins. So that means want to live the life. That's the life of adventures, going out of your limits. Don't just fit into the comfort zone. To me, it's just like even in engineering, we do emergency repairs, we do maintenance repairs. Maintenance repairs is that the paint has gone bad, this has gone bad, or let me just keep on maintaining, but the building keep on getting older and older. But in order to improve, you have to do the capital improvement. That means you should be thinking ahead of time. You should be able to see the telltale signs of the things and move ahead of time, not behind time or on time. To me, on time is also not a solution. If you really want to live your life, the life exists only in the unknown. The life exists between the impossible and possible. The life exists only in the crisis. If you really think those ways, and that's what I find, even if I don't have crisis, design a crisis. You will say, what does that mean, design a crisis? So what is a crisis? Crisis is something, the task is bigger than your position, your abilities, your comprehension, your resources, bigger than that, right? Then it's a crisis. So take up the tasks which are bigger than you. From here, not just take a little bit bigger task, take unknown territory. Nobody will dare to go there. So take up the task bigger than yourself, then you are living your life. Then you are enjoying your life. See, without there is fear, then nothing happen. I want to share one story, like one cartoon, which I never forget. We saw a cartoon, the race is going on, the boys are running, and one boy is coming at the very end, very slow. And we are wondering whether he will finish the race or not. And then we saw the finish line. That boy is running so fast, he's number one. And we say, what happened? Magic. How come such a slow person became so fast? Then we saw the middle portion. Because he was running at the very end, a dog started chasing him. Oh my God, he was so scared of the dog. He ran so fast, he became number one. See, that's what it is. That fear was needed for bringing out all our inner resources, inner abilities, the abilities we had never found within ourselves. We never knew that we have them. And that is what is the positive crisis. That means going above and beyond. That is where the life is. So I want to share about, so Harsha bhai, so should I share now or let's ask questions, if anybody has any questions. Kalpana, yes.
I really
Yes,
like your sharing about doing dishes.
Oh,
And just a few days ago, our sister Geeta from the LA Center was sharing that when all the men, Baba used to always have the men work in the Bhandari because it's humbling
yes,
to do the simple tasks.
yes.
And now I understand what she means. So I'll never look at doing dishes the same way. And to know that you're building karma, even doing dishes. What are your thoughts while you're doing simple tasks? Are you saying that I have to do this? Why is this a everyday drudgery for me to do all these things? Or are you doing with love and attention?
See, that is the open secret. And people don't take that. I want to share maybe one or two other things, like how you find doing the actions. You are playing with the nature. Your interaction with the nature is only through your actions, because this body represents the whole universe. So anything you will do with your body, it will be spread in the whole universe. Sometimes we don't see the kind of impact because it's very subtle, but it is very profound. And also, it really, that is how you feel so much joy. Nature is also made that way, that people who do small things, they are always happy. See, I share one story. I was sweeping the ground outside of Harmony House, where we have in New York our center. And I was sweeping, and then whatever the dust was, I took it, in my fist, I am just putting into the bag. All of a sudden, I felt my hands go dirty. And then I said, I wish I had gloves. But then I remember that back home in India, we never had gloves. We used to even wash our hands with the dirt to clean ourselves. And they say there is very much of a, what do you call it, sanitizing your hands with the dust, with the ash of the charcoal. Say it has phosphorus and this and that. They used to tell us. So I kept on doing it. All of a sudden I felt in my fist the dirt which I had. I felt the dirt is feeling so happy that it touched me. You say, when it went into the bag, it's telling its friends, oh, today I touched the soul. Because in the whole universe, very small amount of the nature which come in close contact with the souls. The celestial sphere is so big and the souls are so little. I felt that, So then I just kept doing it. Then I cleaned. And then now this is in my mind that the dirt is talking to each other. Then I went and I took the blower and started to clean the leaves. And I felt that the leaves are talking to each other. Oh, he has come now. We are going to play with him because we will fly and all that kind of thing. And then going into the bag. Now we are done. Now these kind of things, they look silly. but I never forget them, the experience. One time we had 26 storms in New York. And one of the storm was when we had 26 inches of snow. Snow kept falling, and we kept cleaning. And then Monday I had to go to work, but snow was still falling. And my body was totally tired, and I could not even move my shoulders. And so that kind of condition I was in. Then I coming towards the center after work, and I saw a big pile of snow waiting for me. I said, oh my God, I cannot even move my body. And I started thinking like that. All of a sudden, I felt the snow is talking to me. He said, you played with the snow which came before. How come you are not happy when we came? Why can't you play with us too? That's why I'm feeling, it looks funny, silly, right? But that's what I felt. So it was nighttime. I looked this way, that way. Nobody's around. I literally started rolling in the snow. I said, I'm going to play with you. I'm going to play with you. After playing, like even throwing the balls and doing this and all that, all of a sudden I felt I'm not tired anymore. Then I picked up the machine. I cleaned the whole snow. And I was not tired. Now, these are the real stories. How can I deny them? That is where you see, you become fearless what people think about you. They might say that maybe Ram is doing small thing. Maybe he's not worth anything else. Maybe he's not smart enough. That's why small things are doing. That is where the courage comes handy. So those are the things I had. But what I wanted to share is that then I wanted to do something big. So in 2008, there was a cover story in Time magazine, Happiness is Contagious. So they had done research on 5,000 people for 20 years. And their findings were, when one person becomes happy, looking at that person, 3-4 people become happy. And looking at those 3-4 people, 25 people become happy. Looking at 25 people happy, 150, 200 people become happy. So it keep on growing like. And they did that. They could measure the happiness, and they say up to 3 layers. People could clearly see that happiness is spreading. So they give example of a pool table. One happy ball, all other are sad balls. This happy ball hit the first ball, it hits all other balls, every ball become happy ball. So that's a domino effect. So when they were talking like that, the thought came, because I saw my life filled with joy doing small things. I said, happiness comes from doing good things. Then I am thinking that if one terrorist can shake the whole world with one act of violence, why not happiness do the same thing? Why goodness is so weak? Why the goodness is so boring? Why goodness nobody is interested? Because it's soft. So is it possible the way violence is aggressive, I can make goodness, like what? Dynamic. Make it a force. If they can explode a bomb and create that explosion, why not we can explode the bomb of goodness and happiness in the world? So that was the theme behind. Then we saw how the atom bombs work. Atoms hit each other, and then they get split, and then they get connected with each other. But a tiny portion of the atom becomes extra, does not get connected with anything. That turns into nuclear energy, and the conversion factor is E is equal to mc square. Means enormous multiplication. So thought was that as the atom bomb explodes, when the critical mass is reached, what is the critical mass? Then we thought there are 7 billion people in the world. If collectively we can perform 7 billion good actions, maybe that will trigger the chain reaction and everybody will just become good and happy, explosion of goodness and happiness. So that was the thought. Then the thought was, what is the definition of good action? Because people say everybody does good action, but then good action is something you do above and beyond your duty or obligation, something you do beyond your capacity, going extra yard. You know, some of you have seen the football game, how the player want to go half a yard, 1 yard, even 1/10 of a yard with so much strength. That is what an act of goodness is, extra. Like in India, when we give money to each other, we don't give 100 rupee. We give them 101 or 1001. Why? I say 100 is my give and take, but 1 is in the name of humanity. And sometimes I laughingly say that it's in nature, like we talk about tips over here in America, but in India, people go to do the shopping, buy the vegetables, the ladies do. And the shopkeeper will give the vegetables, but at the end, he will give, they call it dhania mirchi, like something green, you know, like a coriander or something like that. That is extra. And you will notice your attention is not on the vegetables. Your attention is only in the dhania mirchi. How much dhania the shopkeeper is giving. And if somebody gives extra, you go home, you tell the whole world that that person, everybody should go to that shopkeeper. He gives extra dhania. You know, this is how we find in our day-to-day life that we get attracted to when somebody is doing something extra. So that is where we can create a wave. We can have the ripple effect of the goodness, and the ripple can turn into waves, and the waves can go high and high and high, and we can bring the tsunami of goodness and happiness in the world. Is it possible? We can drown the whole world into happiness before they get drowned in this water. Let's drown them in the happiness and goodness. So that is what we are talking about. And finally, I want to share that actually at present time, we are taking this 7 billion acts of goodness as a blueprint for building heaven, for building a world of happiness. And each action, extra action you perform, it's a building block. Just imagine that. Is it possible we can build heaven? Who you think will build heaven? Anybody can think? Who will build heaven? You think God will build heaven? He's incorporeal. If we say outside people will come, anytime when we want to build something, do I bring anybody who has no experience? If the outside people, they never lived in heaven, they have no experience of living in heaven, how can they build it? You know, when we get architect, we ask them, how many buildings you have built like that? And they say, I have done 10, 20, 30. Then say, okay, you are hired. How can I get somebody who has not done any time, who don't even have any experience? So we are the one who are going to build heaven. So that is our new kind of, like we had even skit when people came to New York, building heaven, like a construction. See, in the heaven, there are two things. One is the prosperity, the beautiful gardens and the palaces and all that. But other side is love, harmony, peace, you know, like abundance, you know, like the total love for each other. So that is what, so we have to build love. We have to build happiness, build trust, build relationship, build bridges between the cultures and bring them together. So are you ready for building heaven? I am an engineer, right? So in my own little way, you could call me, whatever, dreamer or whatever, but just see how it is a possibility. We talk about magic. Magic is impossible to possible, but usually people do magic that's fake. They put all the daggers and everything in the woman and they say, oh, that woman must be all cut off and all that. Then the beautiful woman come up, They say, oh, how you did it. So we know it's all fake, but still we enjoy it. But when we think of God the magician, God does not do fake magic. His magic is to turn human beings into deities, into angels, turn the Iron Age into Golden Age. But it is not a fake magic. It is practical magic. It has a process. How you work, you build love, build happiness, build that. So this is how one is the process. Second, being child of God, I carry God's DNA. Like our parents have the body and our body carry our parents' DNA. I am child of God, being a soul. I carry God's DNA, and God's DNA is to create heaven. So that is my also DNA. I am Master God many times, or I am God Junior. Can you call yourself to be God Junior? I am a tiny God Junior, very much similar to God. Other thing I talked about, E is equal to MC square. One seed can turn into millions of seeds and fruit and vegetable, So that means exponential impact. Other one is that it is money get reduced when I use. Physical energy get reduced when I use. But love, or happiness, I make somebody happy, my happiness reduces or increases. It increases. So it's a reverse order. And that is happening when I give, I become happy. My giving and giving and giving just keep on generating happiness and the love and the trust. And so we were coming down, we reverse order. It's a reverse entropy that I start to go toward rejuvenation. So there are many other things, but the time is up. So, but just think of, are we ready? Is it possible that we are the ones are going to build heaven brick by brick? Each good action is a building block for building heaven. But just, you see the process, how you can become deity today. Like I mentioned, this body, my parents, made this body. I carry my parents' DNA, right? So now the soul, I am the soul. Who is the mother and father of the soul? Baba, Supreme Soul, right? So do I agree with that God is my mother and father? Really, truly, I feel God is a mother and father. So then if that is so, then I carry God's DNA. Now, many times people say, well, this is a piece of information. But can you feel like, I give you a telltale sign that how we know we carry God's DNA. God is ocean of love. Everybody agrees. If God is ocean of love, now check deep inside you. Even though you get upset sometimes, problems here and there, but deep inside at the core, how loving you are. Is there anybody who has hatred inside? Or in fact, sometimes you feel sad. How come I am not able to express it? How come I don't bring it out? But I am so full of love inside. It's true or not? If you agree, you can nod the nods, then you don't have to talk. You agree or raise your hand, agree. So agree that you are all filled with love. That is your God's DNA. So agree, you carry God's DNA of love? Yes? Okay. Yes. Now, we know God gives happiness to everybody. God is the ocean of happiness, gives happiness to everybody. Now check deep inside again. Don't you want to make everybody happy or not? Don't you want to make everybody pleased? Yes? Okay, you can nod it. You can raise your hand. It's true or not? Is it truth?
Yes.
It's truth. And you are saying from your heart. That is a telltale sign that I carry God's DNA. Now, one of God's DNA is, so we all agree now? Yeah, I just gave you 2 telltale signs. You all agree that we carry God's DNA. Final. Okay? Agreed. Now, one of God's DNA is to give, and to give, right? God always gives. Does God take anything from anybody? No, only any gives, right? If this is God's DNA, being a child of God, what is my DNA? My DNA of giving or taking?
Giving.
Giving. So that means, can you promise today, from now on, I want to live my DNA? That means my relationship is only of giving, and giving. Can you do that? No give and take anymore. So that means in the whole world, only giving, and giving, no taking. Let's see who can raise your hands. You raise your hand. So today you promise, okay, my relationship of giving, agreed. Now I will ask you something. When you say, I will not take from anybody, then I will include in that anybody, even God. I will not even take from God. Now let's see who raise your hand. Nobody? Think that if you take from God, yeah, so one Joanne, so she raised the hand. But the thing, if you start to take from God, people say, well, I have to take from God in order to give. But then it will become against DNA that I am taking from God. See, it's a challenging kind of thing. But this is where the understanding is. It is not that I take from God. But when I start giving, a space is created here. I start to receive it from God. See, that is the process I have to understand. My giving becomes my receiving, not taking. There is a difference between taking. Taking is more like a begging. I go to God. Oh, when I am in a big trouble, like coming crying, I say, my gosh, you go to God only crying. You go to God only when you need something. Just think of a parents. If somebody comes always crying, they say, if that person is not here, that means they are doing okay. They don't want the child to come to them. But if a happy child always come with new proposal, new idea, Baba, I want to do this, Baba, I want to do this. So what God will say, oh, I'm waiting for you. Because whenever I see you, you are coming up with new idea, new things and all that. But point I am making that I don't take from God, I receive from God. This is where the energy flows everywhere in the whole universe. The life exists only with this thing, one-way traffic. The water comes out of the tap, only then water start to come in the pipeline, fresh water. Only the air, when it goes away, hot air, fresh air comes in. Electricity flows from the high voltage to low voltage. Heat flows from the heat to cold. Water flows from the high altitude to low altitude. Air blows from the high pressure to low pressure. Everything is based on one-way traffic of giving, and giving. Now, you think you agree? So that means my life of giving, and giving. Now, can you do that? Can you do that? My life is only for others. That life doesn't belong to me, but it belongs to others. Of giving, and giving. Let's see who can do that. Is it possible? See, have the courage. That means now just see. If I'm giving means that it's not that you don't, like supposing you take from somebody 10, give them 12. So that means you're giving them 2. You give them extra love. Have the extra patience. If you're making $100,000, work for 110,000. People think smart people, they will work for 80, 90 and brag about 110. Smart people. Let me see any one of you who is a smart person. Are we not very, very innocent deep inside? If we were not, we would not have come to Baba. If we were smart. Even though we might be holding big jobs, but check within your heart. So soft, so honest, and so, innocent. It's true or not? That is where the whole beauty is. So that means giving. $100,000, let me work for 110, 10,000 is my act of goodness, or this is my giving to the society. And if I can do that, what we call that person who gives and gives. There is a name for that. देने वाले को क्या कहा जाता है?
Benefactor?
हाँ, वो भी बोलते हैं, और उसका एक नाम भी है. हाँ, देवता.
Yeah. In Hindi, deities are called devta.
You are a mobile heaven, moving around. So what heaven does, when you go you have a flower, wherever the flower will go, everybody feel the smell. Or when we have some kind of, fragrance. So everybody notice, people should see your presence is bringing joy, bringing solution, bringing love in their family. So you are a mobile heaven. And heaven, when does heaven exist? Heaven, I can tell you, heaven exists in golden age. So where I am then? I am in golden age. I give you the logic. We all say that we are in the confluence age. So that means some are in the lower stage, some are higher. Supposing I use the word 9, 10, 11. 9 is iron age. 10 is confluence age, and 11 is heaven. If in the world, it's an average 10. So where I must be? Where should I be in order to make it 10? Because there are so many people in 9. In order to make it every 10, where I need to be? I have to be in 11.
11.
Only then I can say I am in the confluence age. That means, let's just think of Rama built the bridge. How the bridge was built? From Rama to Ravan, or from Ravan to Rama?
Rama to Ravan.
Rama to Ravan. So that means staying in the golden age as a deity, I am building a bridge towards Kalyuga, bringing people to this shore, this shore, bring people, living in the golden age. I am bringing people towards golden age. So, see, this is a simple thing, possible. It's a fun entertainment, but there is a reality as well. I am a mobile heaven. कर सकते हो? I am a micro heaven. तो पूरे ब्रह्मांड में तो देखो कोई भी चीज start, whenever anything starts, it always, you see it tick like that, like dot by dot by dot by dot. You see that, whenever we think of the printer, they used to be measured, the beauty, how many dots per square inch, right? DPI. As you remember who was in the computers. So you keep on adding. So more and more. And ultimately, when it gets totally filled up, it becomes so beautiful. So the whole universe is not in heaven, but we are particles of heaven. We are the hidden ones. Many times people talk about aliens. They are the hidden ones, but they know each other. You know, when they look at each other, I know you are the one. So we are looking at each other too. Yeah, you are deities. So we are hidden deities. We are incognito deities, and we are going to become bigger and bigger. So then one, two, you keep on creating heaven after heaven, and particle, the whole world will turn into heaven. You know? So that was my thought. So you think you become deities? You think you came in the golden age? Enjoy karo golden age. You have fun in the golden age. Why you say conference age? You know, just the last thing I will say. When somebody goes from 9th to 10th, somebody passed with honor, some pass with first division, some second class, but even the person who get 33% marks, even they get to 10th grade, right? So like I was an engineer, right? And I was naughty and I didn't study. Now I was the very last person. I think I shared that in Anubhuti too when Shivani Ben was there. The same point I want to share with you. I became an engineer, but I was the very last person. Very last in my whole college. But still I was an engineer. No? Still I'm an engineer. I do all the engineering things. So I am a second class engineer, but still I am an engineer. Same way, don't think of I have to become perfect or whatever I am a 50% marks, but I am a deity. I'm an angel. Doesn't matter 50% or pass with honor, doesn't matter to me. But I start to do the things what deities do, what the angels do, like way I am an engineer. I did everything of engineering, even though I did not get the big degree. So that is what it is. Consider yourself to be a deity from today on. So I can say that we will tell Chandruban, everybody, you have to give your, okay, who felt that those who think they have become deities today. And they will act like deities, like angels. They will fly here, there, and just keep on doing good and not getting anything in return and all that. So maybe you should give the Harsha bhai. You could ask whoever promised that, you know.
So
That
we
whoever
already have some hands raising.
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 So you can count all those hands then, you know, and
Yeah.
take the result. ठीक है ना सुकन्या बहन? So you can all, you know, all those, you know, you are three of you, है ना? So
we already have three deities here.
So now clap for yourself. So you're all become deity. The golden age has begun. Have fun like that, you know.
Thank you very much, Ramba. It is so beautiful. So your stories are very inspirational, and everyone is really having a great time. So Ramba, would you like to take us into short meditation?
Yes. See, now just sit comfortably. Feel what heaven is like. What I expect in heaven. Go into your imaginations. Heaven is not only the palaces or the gardens or the rivers. Yes, they are, but there is such a harmony. There is such a joy. There is so much closeness amongst each other. The deities live there who only give and give. That is how they're called deities. Devta, jo dene wala hai. And God has come to build this heaven. And He gives us the knowledge. He reminds us that we have done it again and again. We have done it many times. The impossible is possible. because God is your companion. Only thing I have to do little bit extra than what I have been doing and build my account of good karmas. With all the love I receive from God, let me put that love, anything I touch, anything I move, my eyes, my lips, my hands, they're all filled with so much love, so much peace, so much joy in my fingers. And when I extend that love to nature, nature gets the power to come back to its pure form. And when it comes to the pure form, it is only serving us because we, the soul, put life in the nature. The nature forever serves me with so much love. When I give love, it comes back to me tenfold, hundredfold. When I make somebody happy, the blessings I receive, they are enormous. And we have the capacity to build a world of happiness and goodness, heaven, Bahisht, paradise, they're all in my hands. Om Shanti.